Hey everyone, I'm Megan and welcome to my channel. So today I have a very fun video in store for you guys, and that is the brand new Morphe Fluidity Foundation review. I have been holding on to this. I got it as soon as it launched and I've just been holding on to it, waiting to do a first impressions for you all. So along with the foundation, I also picked up the Equalizer primer, which is the one that's geared more towards oily skin. I also picked up the Fluidity brush and sponge trio set, which comes with these three tools. And I also picked up the Filter Effect Filter number 3 powder, which looks like this. And I'm going to be testing all that out for you guys today. So just to give you a little background on me and what type of skin I have more oily skin, and it is acne prone, which, you know, for the past year or so I've kind of got the acne under wraps, but the oil on the other hand is a whole nother story. So I feel like this foundation could be very well for me, or do very well for me, because I do have oily skin. And I've heard that it's geared more towards oily skin people, as well as, you know, just holding up and being full coverage. And I love a full coverage foundation. So like I said, I have very high hopes for this foundation. I hope it works out. What I'm planning on doing today is I'm going to go in and do all my makeup, and then I'm going to come back throughout the day and give you checkups and let you know how it's holding up, if it's breaking up, is it caking up, or is it wearing really well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so first things first, let's get this hair out of my face. Oh. Alright, much better. Okay, so what I plan to do is go in on the left side of my face with the Morphe primer, and then go in on the right side of my face with my everyday primers that I know and love. So I picked up the Equalizer primer from Morphe, and this is the one that blurs and softens imperfections, instantly makes skin feel smooth, and it's free of oils and parabens. And I'm not really sure. I don't think it was very expensive. I'll pull it up on the Morphe website to let you all know exactly how much it was. But we'll go ahead and start while that's pulling up. So, and you get 0.67 fluid ounces, so it's really small. And in comparison to like the Cover FX Blurring Primer, here's just a little size comparison for you. So, okay, so it definitely looks silicone-y. I hope you can see that. And it kind of reminds me, just off first impressions, of the Smashbox Photo Finish, the original primer. So I'm just going to go ahead and go in and apply that on half of my face. And this primer, it feels kind of slick. And I'm pretty sure this is the one that is made for more oily skin. And I know they do have another one that is made for more dry skin as well. Oh, and I have already washed and moisturized my face with my regular everyday moisturizer and face wash. It does feel very smooth. It's not very tacky. And let's see if I can go ahead and get that price for you all. So the primer is $12. The other one is called the Revitalizer Foundation Primer. And that's the one that it has a hint of moisturization in there for you. So if you have oily skin and are interested in trying it, I would definitely pick up the Equalizer over the Revitalizer. So there's that. And then I'm just going to go in on the right side of my face with the Benefit Professional Matte Rescue Primer. I absolutely love this primer. I think it's awesome for oily skin. So I'm just going to put that on this side of my face. And I'm also going to go in with a blurring primer because that's what I normally do on an everyday basis. So, and we'll see. Because the Morphe primer is claiming to be pore filling, so we'll definitely check it out and see. All first impressions, I think it did blur them a little bit, actually. Whether it makes my foundation stay on longer or not, we'll have to find out. So there's that on that side, and then like I said, I'm going to go in with the Cover FX blurring primer. This is the older one. I've not tried out the newer one that I just hauled. So once I get done with this, then I'll start using the other one. But I just go in with a little bit, and I just put it in my T-zone area, my cheeks, half my chin, nose. Just in those areas where I notice my pores are a little larger. Alright. Now, I picked up 2 of the foundation shades. I picked up F2.60 and F2.20. And these are described as... These are both from the medium level. Okay, the F2.20, it is described as light medium with neutral undertones. And then the F2.60 is described as medium with neutral undertones. So we're just going to see which one works. I'm going to go in with F2.20 first and see. I'm just going to pour a little bit of the F2.20 on a palette as well as the F2.60, and we'll just compare the colors. We may mix a couple of them and see. So right here is the F2.20, and then this is the F2.60. So I may just mix both of these together. The 20 looks a little light and the 60 looks a little dark, so we'll just mix them. And I also picked up the brush set, the brushes and the sponge set that was released with the foundations. And this is what it looks like. And then you get the foundation buffer. I think this is a concealer brush, and then you also get the new Morphe sponge. So if you know what Morphe sponges look like, this is a new one. Most of the time there's like a slant on one side on their highlight and contour sponge. This one just has a flat bottom, and then it comes to the point on the top. So I'm going to use that on one side of my face, and then I'm going to go in with the buffer on the other side of my face. And this feels so soft. So I'm going to do the brush on this side of my face, and then I'm going to go in with the sponge on this side of my face. So like I said, I'm just going to mix these two together and hopefully concoct my perfect shade. Alright. I think that shade match is going to be pretty good. So I'm just dipping it in. We're just going to start buffing it. On first application, I feel like it definitely is full coverage. There is no dew in my skin. It is completely matte, but it doesn't look bad. don't forget to bring it down your neck. Nobody likes to have that line of demarcation right there. Alright, so that is half of my face with the foundation, and I mixed shade F220 and F260. So here's a side-by-side comparison. So here is the completed side, and then here's all natural. Oh Lord. Alright, so I used up all that foundation, so I thought I had a pretty good amount out. So I'm just going to do the same thing I did before. Put a little bit of 60 and a little bit of the 20. Mix those together. And I think the shade match is pretty good, actually. Alright, so I'm going to go in with the bottom of the sponge, the flat side. Just go in. Start puffing it into the skin. Right off the bat, I love the sponge side. I think it just looks better. A little cakey. I'm not sure quite yet, or maybe it's just really full coverage. All right, so I also I picked up the concealers, which I've heard nothing but good things about. So hopefully they work out. I've heard they are super full coverage. So I also picked the concealers up in 2 shades. I picked them up in these 2 shades, which is C1.55 and then C1.25. And like I mentioned in my other videos, I do really enjoy a brightened under eye. I just think it really lifts the face. It makes me look awake, and who doesn't like that? So let me go back to Morphe's website and I'll give you the description of what the concealer shades are. So the C1.25 is just a fair neutral, and the C155 is a fair neutral as well. I guess just a little bit darker. Oh god, this is gonna be really light. Oh my gosh, that's like almost white. Okay, let's just even it up on both sides. Oh Lord, I might have to get a new shade. Let's go in with C155. See if that's any better. It's still really light. And I'm sorry if you hear my dogs barking. They're outside playing, right outside the window. So I'm just going to put this in all the places that I normally would. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to get a darker shade. That's for sure. I'm going to go in the center of my face, down the bridge of my nose, Cupid's bow, and a little bit on the chin. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and blend it out. I'm going to use the pointed side of the sponge to do that. Well, I'm going to use the butt of the sponge to do the middle of my face. And I'm not sure if this concealer dries fast or not, so I might need to work a little faster just to be on the safe side. I've had concealers I put all over my face and they dry super fast, so it definitely is brightening. I will give them that. So besides it being a few shades too light for me, I feel like it looks pretty good. It's smoothing. It's not settling into the little fine lines under my eyes, between my forehead, and it doesn't look cakey like I was thinking it was going to, but it actually looks pretty good. Let me zoom you all in so you can get a look. So overall, I feel like it looks pretty good. And I'm just going to use my regular loose setting powder to bake underneath my eyes. And then I'm going to go in with the Morphe Filter Effect Finishing Powder in the shade Filter number 3. And this is described as a buildable sheer to medium coverage, creamy lightweight formula, shine free and oil absorbing, selfie approved. This is what the packaging looks like. There's my shade again, Filter number 3. And this is what I'll use just to set on the outer portions of my eye. And it might be a little light. I know the lights kind of wash the colors out a little bit, but there's that. So I'm going to go get my setting powder and I will be right back. The setting powder, I'm going to use what is the same setting powder that I use every single day. It's the Huda Beauty baking powder, and it's in the shade Pound Cake. So the brush that I love to use to set my foundation is the Morphe E52. Looks like this. And now I'm just going to go with this powder on the perimeters of my face. This is what my face is looking like with just the foundation, concealer, and powder on, as well as the Morphe primer on this side. And just upon application and looking at my face, I really can't tell a difference on the side with the Morphe primer versus the side with my everyday primers. So I can definitely, I mean, I can still see my pores on both sides. So, but there's not one side that looks better than the other. So I'm going to hop off camera, I'm going to go finish up my makeup, and then I will be back to give my first check-in. Alright guys, I'm back with my first check-in. So I just completed my makeup. I just did my normal everyday makeup look. I didn't go all out or do anything crazy. But just by putting my other makeup on, I cannot tell a difference on either primer side, which one looks better or worse. They both look the same to me. So that could be a really good thing. If we could get a primer for 12 bucks over, you know, a $30 primer, that would be awesome. So I have high hopes for this foundation, concealer, the whole shebang. I really think it looks good. It doesn't look too heavy. It does look just a tad bit makeup-y, but nothing crazy. So yeah, this is what it's looking like. see if I can zoom in for you all, just so you can see. So this is the side that has the Morphe primer. And then this is the side that has my Benefit and Cover FX primer. On both sides, my pores look the same. Neither side is more emphasized than the other. So I think this is going to be a good one, you guys, especially if you have oily skin. Now, if you don't have oily skin, what I would suggest to do is maybe mix in a little bit of like a primer oil or a beauty oil, anything like that, or maybe just go in with a heavier moisturizer and try it out. But I do think if you kind of, you know, come up with your own little concoction, it could work for dry skin. So this is what it's looking like so far. I think it looks really, really, really good. I'm kind of shocked because I've heard mixed reviews. So I will be back in a couple of hours and check back in with you guys, let you know how it's holding up. I did not set it with a setting spray. Every day I use the Urban Decay All Nighter, but I really wanted to see how this foundation held up on its own without anything else. So we know for sure it is the foundation, the primer, or what have you. So, alright guys, I will see you here in a little bit. Hey guys, alright, so I'm back with my second check-in. The foundation has been on for about 2 hours and it still looks really, really, really good. I'm not noticing any caking, cracking, breaking up, anything like that on any part of my face. Let me just look close up real quick. You guys, it's really holding up really well. Now, I have to say, I've not been doing anything. I've not been outside. I've not been running around sweating. I've really just been working around the house a little bit. So, but I still cannot tell a difference between the side with my regular Benefit and Cover FX primers versus the Morphe primer. Both sides look identical. So that is still giving me high hopes that, you know, maybe this primer is a winner. So far, so good, you guys. So we'll keep trucking. Keep your fingers crossed everything works out, and I will check back in with you in the next couple of hours. Alright guys, so I am back with my third check-in, and I can go ahead and tell you that I'm getting a little oily right now. My chin, and it's breaking up a little bit around my nose, and my forehead still looks good. The concealer looks awesome. There is no creasing. It is starting to look a little cakey, like I said, around my nose area, just because it's, you know, settling in those little fine lines. It's wearing off a little bit around there as well. Around my mouth right here is getting a little cakey looking around these little lines. But, you know, the foundation and concealer, where I put it in the middle of the face, it looks really, really good. So the only issue I'm having right now is I'm getting a little oily, and it's right in the middle of my chin, so I really can't tell exactly if it's on the Morphe side with the Morphe primer or, you know, the Benefit primer side. So yeah, still looks good. It's been about 5.5, 6 hours now. So I will come back in 2 more hours, maybe 3. I'm going to try to wear it as long as I can and give you my final thoughts and recommendation. Guys, so I'm back for my 4th and final check-in. The foundation has now been on for 9 hours, and I have to say it held up pretty well. I am noticing it starting to break apart and look a little splotchy in some areas. I'm oily on my chin, around my nose area, and my pores are emphasized. And ironic enough, they are actually more emphasized on the side that I put the pore blurring primer and the mattifying primer. The Morphe side, my pores actually look just a tad bit smaller. So that is an awesome sign. I will definitely be trying it out with some different foundations and see how it wears. But I'm really impressed, and actually the foundation is breaking up on this side, which is everyday primer, and on this side it's not really broken up. Let me see if I can zoom you in. So this side you don't see any breaking up or anything. Over here it's starting to look a little splotchy. I hope you all are able to see it. So around my nose it's starting to break apart here and be a little oily, and then on this side same thing. My chin is a little oily and it's in the little crack right there. But overall, I mean, it looks really good. So I am going to touch up. I've not touched my face all day, not powdered or did anything. So I've got my Tatcha blotting powder papers, and I'm going to use two. I'm going to use one on this side and one on this side, and that's going to be the true test to see which primer worked better with this foundation. So we'll go ahead and do it on the side that I use my everyday primers. So that's pretty oily. Yeah, we're getting a lot of oil on this side. Let's go in the middle of the forehead. This will also tell if you'll be able to touch up easily or if it'll, you know, break the foundation up. I'm trying to get half of my nose. So this is what it's looking like. I know it's gross, but this is the true test. So that's that side, and now let's go in on the Morphe primer side and see. It's actually not as bad. So, I don't know. So yeah, the Morphe side actually had less oil after 9 hours of wear than my everyday primer. So that is really, really interesting to see. Now I'm just going to go in with a blotting powder, which the one I really enjoy using is the one by Fenty Beauty. It's the Invisimatte blotting powder. It looks like this. It's just like a little translucent powder. And I've just got my Smashbox angled powder brush. I'm just going to use that, dip in a little bit, and touch up and see how this looks. And by using the blotting powders, the foundation didn't break up anymore. So that's a good sign that it didn't pick it up. Just going to touch up my T-zone area around my nose. Alright, so I think it looks really good by touching up and doing that. It really just looks like I just applied it. I'm really shocked. Let me zoom you guys in. Alright, so here it is after touching up. Alright, so I am really impressed. I think it held up really well. It started getting a little makeup-y around the 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock mark, but if I would have just got out my blotting sheet and powder and touched up, it would have looked just like this, like I had just applied it. So I I would definitely recommend the foundation. The concealer also, it looks awesome. It's held up. It's not breaking up or settling into any of my fine lines under my eyes. The brush, I love the brush, as well as the sponge. I actually enjoy the shape of the new sponge over the older sponge because I really like the flat butt of the sponge, how it gets, you know, it's just a good application with that. So yeah, overall, I definitely recommend it. If you have oily skin, I suggest you check it out. And if you have dry skin, you know, like I said earlier, just go ahead, add a primer oil, beauty oil, anything like that, and try it out and see what you think, especially if you really enjoy a full coverage foundation. So that's all for this video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified every single time I upload. And if you enjoy these type of videos, then go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. And I will see you guys later. Bye.